Here it is. This is the engine we plan on putting in my brother's Dodge Dart here. Apparently it's a older style 318, excuse me. Not an LA engine. I believe they call it a poly or wide block or something like that. Honestly, I don't know a whole lot about this engine, and I definitely don't know a whole lot about Chryslers in general. But from what I've heard, this came out of a 1966 Coronet, and it should fit into my brother's car because they originally came with these as an option, the 318 wide block. So we're hoping we'll make it fit. I just pulled it out of the barn yesterday. It had been sitting in the barn since 1989, and we had originally feared that it was stuck because when we went to the barn, we just went ahead and grabbed onto this crank pulley here and tried to wiggle it, and we couldn't do it. So we hauled it up here, and I started to take the torque converter off, the torque converter bolts, and as I was doing that, it started to turn. So I threw a bar on it and spun it around, and it turns fine. So it wasn't stuck at all. Didn't have to lube it up or nothing. And it ran. I drove all the way here from Montana back in '89 when it was in a vehicle. So it should be a good engine. We drained the oil, we took off the valve cover, looked around a little bit. Everything seems okay. Don't know what all I'm going to have to do to it to get it in running condition, but I think for starters I'm going to have to put a new cap on it for sure, because I kind of broke that pulling it out of the barn. Rotor's fine and everything, I just cracked the cap. Put probably new plug wires in and plugs and all that good stuff. But what I may do, now that I know it turns over, is go ahead and get the little things I need to make it run, like a coil and small stuff, and go ahead and put it back down, bolt it back up to this transmission here, and just see if I can get it to pop off on the floor. I'm not going to run it, I just want to see if it'll pop, if it'll fire. And if it does, then we'll probably jack it up and go through it a little bit. I don't think I'm going to go too deep into it. I still have to pull the oil pan off and just look in there and see what's going on. And you know what, if it pops off on the floor, we may just throw a couple of gaskets at it and figure out how we're going to stuff it in the car. We can get mounts for the Seneca that had the 318, and they'll bolt up this block, it looks like, but there are mounts on the frame, they're welded to the frame, that aren't there on this car, because it came with a 6, so it's got a little bit different setup, so that might be a little tricky to work out. And the next big hurdle, besides getting the engine in and in right, is the transmission. Now, I have absolutely no idea even what this transmission is. Like I said, I know nothing about Chryslers. So this thing is just a hunk of metal to me right now. I don't know if it'll fit in there, what I got to do to modify it to make it work, if I can get a push button set up for it, or if I have to rig something different up. I have no idea. I don't know if the drive shaft will fit in there. I don't know if it's long enough to work, or the right length to save the drive shaft, or anything. I know nothing. So there's a lot of thinking work I got to do here, and I got to do a lot of research to figure out what exactly I need to get this engine and maybe this transmission, if possible. Otherwise, I might have to find another one to get this all to fit in the car. But so far, it seems like a really good motor, and I'll be probably working on it a little bit next week. At least, pop it off and look at everything. And as kind of an update to my other video, my last video, there were a few things when I came home and I saw that drill press. There were a few things I missed that my dad picked up while he was there. Where did we put him? Oh, back here. While he was there, he also got me a nice big 3/4 inch drive socket set, which is awesome. I have a metric one up here, but I didn't have a standard, so now I have both. I'm set there. And my uncle gave me a little vise to put in the drill press, which is pretty cool. And the other big thing that I completely missed, I don't know how I missed it, is this. Now, it was under the tarp over here. I didn't notice it when I was looking at the drill press, but this thing's pretty sweet. A big old grinder. This one was made in America right here. It's a 1 horsepower grinder. Haven't really looked at it much. I gotta set it up. Gotta find a place to set it up. And I was looking at the drill press a little bit, made in Taiwan, but yeah, you know, whatever. It's got a 1 horsepower motor. It'll do more than I need it to, so I'm really happy about that. And talked to my dad, asked him what he paid for the drill press. He paid $100 for the drill press. I think that is an awesome deal. That is a nice press for $100. And my brother came over yesterday, and I don't know if you can see it over there, but we got a little portable garage to shove his car into. We put that together yesterday. So today we'll probably back that Seneca in there for now, while I'm working on the engine and transmission, figuring everything out, and it should go good. So I'll get back to you probably next week when I'm starting to get into this motor a little bit, and if I decide to put it on the ground and get all the parts, I'll go ahead and see if it'll fire. Carburetor was covered with something, so hopefully not too much got in there. Should be alright. I just want to see it fire. You know, it's been sitting since '89, so it's what, 22, 23 years, something like that. I'd love to see her run.